Hello, dear. I want you to stay with me from beginning to end because the energy builds significantly as we go deeper. The final cards I'm going to reveal carry a message that is going to land differently from everything else you've heard lately. Something in your chest is probably already reacting to that. That's your intuition confirming you're in the right place. Let's go into the energy. The very first thing I'm feeling as I connect to the Leo energy right now is this sense of something being on the edge. Like you're standing right at the border between the life you've been living and the life that's been waiting for you. And that place, that edge, is uncomfortable. It's uncertain. It sometimes feels like nothing is moving, even though everything is actually moving underneath the surface. You've probably been asking yourself lately, when is it my turn? When does something actually shift for me? When do I stop waiting and start living the version of my life I know I'm capable of? Those questions aren't random. They're signs. They're signals from your higher self telling you that you are ready. And readiness, Leo, is always what calls in the change. The first card I'm drawing for you carries an energy that confirms this feeling of anticipation you've been carrying. And it's the Wheel of Fortune. Now, when this card appears, it is never by accident. The Wheel of Fortune speaks to the turning of cycles. It speaks to cosmic timing, divine momentum, and the kind of change that doesn't ask your permission before it arrives. It just arrives. And when it does, it rewrites everything. This card is showing me that you are entering right now a rotation, a turning of your personal wheel, and the direction it's turning is upward. For some of you, this is going to reflect a change in your material situation. Something financial that you've been working toward or waiting for finally begins to move. For others, this is going to feel more personal, a shift in how you see yourself, how others see you, how your daily life starts to rearrange itself around a new center of gravity. And for some of you, this is both. What I want you to understand about the Wheel of Fortune is that it doesn't always come with warning signs. It doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes change arrives quietly at first. A phone call, a decision, a conversation that starts small but opens something enormous. You might look back a month from now and say that was the moment. That one small thing was the beginning of all of it. I'm also feeling, with this first card, a sense of justice being restored, like something that was taken from you, a opportunity, a connection, a sense of your own power is coming back around. The wheel spins in your favor, Leo, and it's spinning tonight. But let me pull the next card because this is where the energy deepens. The second card is the Sunday. Leo, this is your card. This is literally the card of your sign. And when it appears in a reading for a Leo, it carries a particular kind of electricity. The sun represents clarity, success, radiance, and the kind of joy that isn't fragile, not the happiness that depends on circumstances staying perfect, but the deep-rooted, soul-level joy that comes from finally stepping into who you were always meant to be. This card is telling me that whatever has been clouded in your life, whatever situation has been confusing, draining, or unclear, the fog is about to lift. And what's underneath is going to surprise you, not in a frightening way, in a way that makes you exhale for the first time in a long time. I want you to think for a moment about the last time you truly felt like yourself, the last time you woke up and felt genuinely excited about your day, the last time you felt seen, celebrated, or truly alive. For some of you, that memory is recent. For others, it feels distant. Either way, the sun in this position is saying that feeling is returning. And when it returns, it's not going to be a flicker. It's going to be a flood. There's also something I'm picking up around other people, noticing this change in you. The sun doesn't just illuminate your own experience, it makes you visible. People around you are going to start responding to you differently. There's a magnetism that comes with this energy, a warmth that draws the right things, the right people, the right opportunities directly toward you. And I need to say something here that's important. Some of you have been making yourself smaller, dimming your light, because you thought it was safer. Because someone or something in your past made you feel like being too bright was dangerous. The Sun card is arriving today as a direct message. Stop hiding. The version of you that you've been holding back is the version the world has been waiting for. Stay with me, because the third card is where things get really specific. I'm drawing the Ace of Wands. When the Ace of Wands appears, it is pure potential exploding into existence. This is the spark. This is the lightning bolt. This is the moment when something that has only existed as a dream in your mind starts to become real in the physical world. And it's appearing right here, right now, in your reading tonight. For many of you, this relates to something you've been wanting to start, a project, a business, a new direction in your career, something creative, something that has been living in the back of your mind, maybe for months, maybe even years, that you've been telling yourself you'll get to eventually. The Ace of Wands is saying eventually is now. I'm also picking up on a very specific energy around courage, because the Ace of Wands doesn't just represent opportunity, it represents the courage to take it. And what I'm seeing for you, Leo, is that you are going to find that courage very soon. Something is going to happen that removes whatever has been keeping you stuck, a shift in your circumstances, a shift in your mindset, a conversation, a realization. Something breaks open, and what breaks open is the part of you that's been waiting for permission. You don't need permission anymore. That's part of what tonight's energy is trying to tell you. Drop a comment and tell me, what is the dream you've been putting off? What's the thing you've told yourself you'll get to when the time is right? Because the cards are saying the time is right now. Let me go deeper into the next layer of energy, because there are more cards to pull, and what's coming next is something I feel very strongly about. I want to pause here for just a moment, because there's something I'm sensing beyond the cards. It's an emotional pattern. Something many Leos have been carrying quietly, and I think you know what I'm about to say. You have been exhausted, not just physically, energetically exhausted, the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fully fix. And a lot of that exhaustion has come from pouring yourself into situations or people that haven't been returning that energy. You've been giving and giving, and somewhere along the way you started wondering if you would ever receive at that same level. Tonight's reading has an answer to that question, and I'll get to it. But first, I need you to understand something. The exhaustion you've been feeling is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that you were operating in an environment that was too small for who you are. Think about that for a second. You've been too much for the space you've been in. And what's coming is a larger space, a more aligned space, one that can actually hold the fullness of who you are. The fourth card is the High Priestess. This card appearing now is significant because the High Priestess speaks directly to that inner knowing you have, the quiet voice inside you that has been sending you signals for a while now, the feeling that something is about to shift, the sense you've had that something just isn't right or that something is coming but you haven't been able to fully explain it or name it. The High Priestess says your intuition has been accurate. Whatever you've been feeling lately, trust it. The whispers from your own inner world have been more reliable than any external information you've been receiving. And what this card is also telling me is that you have access to wisdom right now that other people around you don't have. You are seeing things more clearly than you might realize. Trust that vision. There's also a hidden truth element here. Something that has been concealed from you, a truth about a situation, about a person, about yourself, is preparing to be revealed. The High Priestess doesn't rush. She reveals in divine timing. but she reveals fully. And when this truth comes to light, Leo, it's going to fundamentally change how you move forward. Some of you already sense what that truth is. You've been feeling it at the edges of your awareness. Maybe you've been avoiding it slightly because facing it means making a choice, and that choice feels big. But here's what I want you to know. Making that choice is exactly what breaks everything open into the life you've been meant to be living. Now I'm going to pull the next card, and I want you to pay close attention to this one. The fifth card is the Tower. I know how this card can feel when it appears, but stay with me. Because in this reading, in this context, the Tower is not a warning of something terrifying. It is confirmation of what is already in motion. The Tower represents the collapse of what no longer serves you, the dismantling of structures in your life, in your relationships, in your beliefs about yourself that have been holding you back without you fully realizing it. Some of you are already in the middle of a Tower moment. Something in your life is shifting in a way that feels destabilizing. A situation you thought was solid has started to reveal its cracks. And if that's you, I need you to hear this. What is falling apart was always meant to fall apart. It was built on a foundation that wasn't right for you. And what gets built in its place is going to be so much more aligned with who you truly are. For others, the Tower energy is about to arrive. Something that has felt stuck, solid, or permanent is going to suddenly shift. It might feel fast, it might feel surprising, but underneath the surprise, you're going to feel something else. You're going to feel relief, because a part of you already knew that thing needed to go. The Tower clears. That's its purpose. It clears the ground so that something real, something lasting, something truly yours can be built. I want to ask you something, and I genuinely want you to answer in the comments. Is there something in your life right now that you've been holding on to, even though deep down you know it's already over? I see so many Leos doing this right now. Holding, waiting, hoping something will change on its own. And the cards are showing me that the universe is about to make that choice for you, not to punish you, but to free you. Let me pull the sixth card now, because this one shifts the entire tone of the reading. The sixth card is the Star. After the Tower always comes the Star. This is one of the most beautiful sequences in tarot, because the Star represents renewal, hope restored, the quiet, steady light that remains after the storm has passed. And it is appearing for you, Leo, right here after the Tower as a direct message from the universe. You will not be left in the rubble. You will be lifted. The Star carries the energy of healing, deep healing, the kind that happens quietly, in the nights when you're alone with yourself, when something releases inside you that you didn't even know you'd been holding. It's the kind of healing that doesn't announce itself loudly. It just one day feels like you can breathe differently. For many of you, this Star energy connects to your sense of purpose. Something that got lost in the difficulty of recent months is being returned to you. A sense of direction, a sense of meaning, a reconnection with the version of yourself that believes in something bigger than the current circumstances. I'm also seeing with the Star something around a wish being granted, something you've put out into the universe quietly, and the private moments of your own heart is being heard. And it's being answered, not in the exact form you imagined necessarily, but in a form that is actually more perfect for where you are right now. The seventh card is coming, and it is the one I've been building toward since the beginning of this reading. This is the message I told you about at the start, the one you needed to hear before the end. Before I pull this final card, I want to speak directly to you for a moment, not as a tarot reader, just as one soul to another. You have been through something. Maybe you don't talk about it. Maybe you've carried it so quietly that people around you don't fully understand the weight of it. But you've been through something that required a strength from you that most people don't even know you possess. You've held yourself together in moments when falling apart would have been understandable. You've kept going when you had every reason to stop. That matters. That level of inner resilience matters enormously. And what I want you to understand is that it hasn't gone unnoticed, not by the people in your life who pay attention, and not by the universe, which is why what's coming for you isn't just a small adjustment. It's a full rebalancing, a reward that matches the level of what you've invested. I want you to breathe that in for a moment. What's coming matches what you've invested. The 7th card is the World, Leo. The World card is the final card of the major arcana. It represents completion, mastery, fulfillment, and the arrival at a destination you have been moving toward, whether you knew it or not, for a long time. This is a card of massive, life-altering, positive change, and it is appearing tonight for you as the final, most powerful message of this entire reading. When the World card appears, something is completing, a cycle, a chapter, a version of your life that served its purpose but is now done. And with that completion comes everything that was waiting on the other side of it. The World is not subtle. It is not cautious. It arrives with everything. For some of you, this manifests in your material world. Financial shifts, career breakthroughs, an opportunity of a scale you haven't experienced before. Something that makes you stop and realize, this is what I was waiting for. This is it. For others, this is deeply personal. A relationship dynamic that finally resolves in the way you've needed it to. A healing of something within yourself that's been broken for years. A reconnection with your sense of self so profound that you almost don't recognize how far you've come. And for many of you, it's all of it at once. Because the world doesn't deliver in pieces. It delivers in fullness. I'm also picking up something very specific with this card. There's an element of recognition, of being seen in a new way. People who have underestimated you and Leo, you know who they are going to witness something in the coming weeks that changes how they look at you. You are going to step into something that makes your value undeniable. And that moment of being seen, truly and publicly seen, is one of the pieces of this transformation that's coming. The World card also speaks to a new beginning that is born out of this completion, because endings and beginnings are always the same moment. When one door closes completely, fully, truly closes, the next one doesn't just crack open, it opens wide. And for you, Leo, that door is opening wide. Let me share with you what I'm feeling energetically about the timeline, because I want to give you something specific to hold on to. The energy around these cards feels immediate, not years away, not even months away, in a distant sense. I'm feeling a concentrated activation in the very near future. Things begin to move quickly. Signs begin to appear. Circumstances begin to arrange themselves in ways that start to feel unmistakably intentional. You're going to start noticing things, small things at first, a conversation, a coincidence. Something shifts in a relationship or a situation, and then another thing and another, and you're going to realize that all of these things are connected. They are all part of the same movement, the same tide turning in your favor. Some of you are going to receive news very soon, something you weren't expecting. And the news is going to require you to act, to say yes to something, to make a decision, to move in a direction you might have been hesitant about before. And I want to tell you right now, before that moment arrives, say yes, move toward it. The cards are confirming that the direction this change is pointing you toward is exactly right. Trust it. Now, let me also address something I've been sensing throughout this reading that I haven't said directly yet. There's a relationship dimension to all of this, and it's significant. For some of you who are single, something or someone is coming into your life. Not immediately as a dramatic movie moment, but as something that begins quietly and grows into something that fundamentally changes your understanding of what love can feel like for you. This person or this energy comes in at exactly the right time, which is after you've started stepping into the version of yourself that the Sun card was describing, because that's what calls them in. Your own expansion is what creates the space for them. For those of you who are in relationships, there is a shift coming in the dynamic. Something is resolving. A tension that's been present, a question that's been unanswered. The energy of the World card in the context of relationships speaks to a new foundation being established. Either a relationship deepens into something more committed and real than it's been before, or something that has been uncertain finally reaches clarity. Either way, the ambiguity ends. And clarity, even when it requires adjustment, is always a gift. And for those of you who have recently left something or had something leave, the healing accelerates now. The World card tells me that you are not stuck in what ended. You are already, energetically, in what's beginning. Your heart might still be catching up to what your soul already knows. Give it a little more time. The arrival is coming. I also want to speak to the financial dimension because I've been feeling it strongly throughout this reading and I don't want to pass over it. The Wheel of Fortune combined with the Ace of Wands and the World card in the same reading is one of the most powerful financial activation combinations I see. This isn't about small improvements to your current situation. This is about a structural shift in your relationship to abundance. Something that changes the baseline, an opportunity, a deal, a decision, a source of income. Something enters your life that changes the number, changes the ceiling, and changes how you understand your own capacity to generate, receive, and hold wealth. For some of you, this is connected to something you're about to create or launch. For others, it comes through a change in your career or professional situation. For others, it arrives more unexpectedly through something that couldn't have been predicted or planned for. But however it arrives, the energy is clear. Financial movement is part of what's coming for you. What I want to ask you to do with this is not just receive the news. I want you to think about what you've been telling yourself about money, about what's possible for you, about what you deserve to have. Because the cards are showing me that one of the things that is shifting for you is an inner story, a belief about your own worthiness. And as that belief shifts, the outer reality has room to shift with it. You've been capping yourself, and the cap is coming off. Let me pull one final card for additional guidance. A message card. Something the universe specifically wants you to hold as you move into this new energy. The final card is the Ace of Cups. This is the card of emotional new beginnings, of the heart opening after a period of closing, of love in its purest, most uncomplicated form being offered to you from the universe, from life, from others, and most importantly, from yourself. The Ace of Cups appearing as your final message card tells me that what you are stepping into is not just externally successful, it is emotionally nourishing. It fills something in you that has been empty for a while. The changes that are coming are not just changes in your circumstances, they are changes in how you feel every day, how you wake up, how you relate to your own life, how you carry yourself through your hours. You are moving toward a version of your life where joy is not the exception, where connection is not something you have to fight for or perform for or earn, where you wake up and something in your chest feels right, settled, full. And that feeling, Leo, that full feeling in the chest is what these cards are pointing toward. That is the destination of everything that is beginning tonight. I want you to sit with something as we close. Tonight is not an ending. Tonight is a beginning. And the beginning doesn't always look like fireworks. Sometimes it looks like a quiet moment where something inside you shifts, where something releases. where you make a decision, even just internally, that you are no longer available for the old version of your life, that you are ready for what's coming. Be ready, because it's coming for you, Leo. And it's coming in a way that is going to exceed what you've been imagining. Now I want to hear from you. What area of your life are you most ready to see change? Tell me in the comments. Whatever you're feeling right now, write it down. Let it out. Sometimes naming what we're ready for is exactly what gives it permission to arrive. And if this reading spoke to something real for you today, something you've been feeling but couldn't quite put into words, share it with someone else who might need to hear it right now. There's someone in your life who needs this energy too. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because I'll be back very soon with more readings that are specifically for you. Your journey is just beginning, Leo. Until next time, trust what's coming. It's already on its way.